What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, checking out the Monterey Bay Knives Mini Old Guard. If you're not familiar with Monterey Bay Knives, it's a collaboration between Laconico and Sanford Owen. I believe a somewhat newer company, but obviously legendary names in the knife community. I picked this up a little over a month ago at this point at CCKS for $215, and that's the same price that is on their website. I don't think they sell these at other retailers, but $215, this seems to be pretty readily available. You can buy it now. I was going to the table to look at the Sea Otter. That was sold out, as it usually is. They did have some at the show. It just wasn't my first stop, and so missed out on those, unfortunately. But handled this, wasn't planning on picking this up ahead of time, and really just fell in love with it. So grabbed it at that price point. Seems like a really great deal. I would definitely buy this again at that price point if something were to happen to this one. Dimension wise, extremely easy to remember. 4 inches even on the handle, 3 inches even on the blade, 7 inches overall, and weighs in at 3.6 ounces. So not too light, not too heavy for the size, kind of average there. There is some weight savings and kind of milling on the internal of the handle, so they did cut out a little bit of weight there, but still not the lightest at this size point. The blade is a Wharncliffe style blade, really nice grinds on that, and ZDP 189, which is a steel I'm not super familiar with, but did a little bit of research on it. Seems like it takes an edge well and is able to achieve a really high HRC. This one's marketed at 66 to 67 HRC, which seems right in that kind of range for this steel. Definitely no reason to doubt that, although I don't have a way to test it. It is a thumb stud deployment, inset liner lock. Extremely smooth. The detent is lighter than I would like on most knives. I would say this detent is too light, but it just works on this one. It's extremely smooth and just kind of flies out of there. And even like slow rolling this, it's hard to describe how smooth it is. It's kind of fun to do. You don't feel really anything. There's no grittiness whatsoever. It's not on bearings, but it is on phosphor bronze washers. I actually prefer washers over bearings, but extremely smooth and just kind of fun to slow roll, but really will fly out of there if you want it to as well. The jimping on the blade is a little bit far back for me. It's really effective jimping, but I feel like they could have extended it maybe 2 or 3 jimps or 2 or 3 millimeters, whatever you want to say, about to the thumb stud would have felt a little bit more natural for me. But what is there is extremely effective and grippy, just a little bit far back on the blade for me. Again, inset liner lock, if your finger weren't there, it would drop shut the entire way, but as is, it stops at your thumb and you can give it one shake to close it the rest of the way. So really kind of fun and fidgety, but also a really nice slow roller. Titanium handles and really nice kind of stonewash on there. You can see a little bit of snail trailing, but that's always going to happen with these titanium handles. But I think really well done. It hides them pretty well. You only kind of catch them in the right light. Titanium backspacer as well as pocket clip. That pocket clip is right hand tip up only, so not reversible for lefties out there, but it is a milled titanium pocket clip and nicely centered on the handle so you don't feel it all. There's no hot spots or really any discomfort when gripping this knife, no matter how tightly I bear down. One thing I will note is these internal edges aren't rounded off. They're kind of a 90-degree edge, so if you're running your finger across them, you can feel it. It's not uncomfortable or anything like that, but you're aware of them, but you don't really feel it in the grip, so I don't know that they really need to do anything about it, because with the normal use of the knife, you're not really noticing those edges, or at least I'm not. That pocket clip isn't a full deep carry, but relatively deep carry. You got about a 1/4 inch exposed there, but again, a really nice pocket clip kind of sticking out of your pocket. It does have a lanyard hole in that back corner. I like the placement of that, and overall a really clean design. You don't really see any branding on the show side. They decided to put the logo on the non-show side right below the thumb stud, and that's the only sort of marking on the blade, that MBK right below the thumb stud. And so super clean design. Again, Wharncliffe style blade, which is one of my favorite blade shapes, and just a super smooth, fun overall knife. It does, when it's closed, have a little bit of a corner of the blade sticking out above the handle where it looks like it could almost be a front flipper, but you don't have enough access to front flip it. If they did that a little bit more, added some jimping, you probably could. I don't mind that they didn't, because I'm not a huge fan of front flippers, but it definitely could have if they just put a little bit more of the edge sticking out. But as is, it looks a little bit funny. It's kind of strange that they didn't tuck it in. But again, just kind of a visual nitpick, not really anything to do with the knife. this knife as a user, love it as just kind of the overall look and feel, fidget factor is all there. And at $215, I think it's a really great deal and also readily available. Unlike the Sea Otter, I'd still like to get my hands on the Sea Otter at some point. Obviously, very different knives, but this is my first Monterey Bay knife, super confident in buying any of their other products. This is really, really good and really close to perfect for $215. I think they could have priced it higher and then I might have been a little bit more critical of some of those minor things, but at this price point, I think you're getting a really great knife. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This is kind of a short one because there's not a whole lot talked about, it's just really well done. But let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.